Hey everybody, I'm Katallina, and today we're here to talk about episode 4 of Oshi no Ko season 2. If there's any kind of recurring theme that we saw throughout this episode, it is absolute brutal, no holds barred honesty, either towards somebody or somebody having that toward themselves. We can start positively by talking briefly about the resolution to the script situation that has been taking up the majority of the episodes so far, and I was very happy with how this got resolved because this got resolved in what I thought was one of the most honest and decent ways it could have, which was by having Abiko-sensei and Goa actually get to have some actual communication without anyone getting in the way, which is how it should have been to begin with. I realize in the real world that's not always how it turns out for this kind of thing, but ideally, if you do it that way and you're trying to get really honest feedback and to get a legitimate adaptation of something, that is generally the best way to go about it. And I was very happy to see that when the two of them actually got to speak directly and they were actually talking and listening equally, that they were able to reach compromises that were going to make for a better overall product. I feel a bit bad for the actors that they're gonna only have a couple weeks to do this, but as far as options that could have happened, this was definitely the best possible result. And I realized that this show is sort of split between being a very strong look at how things work in the entertainment industry in varying sectors, and also the whole revenge murder, psychological aspect, and we'll definitely be getting into that here. But I think they did a really good job at wrapping up this sector and having us move on to something else. That said, the something else they had us move on to absolutely ripped at my heart, and I was incredibly moved by the end of the episode because what we got here was absolutely brutal. And it's brutal on some levels I haven't really seen people discuss, so I kind of want to point those out, or at least point out how they made me feel, if nothing else. So we have Kana talking to Aqua and giving him some very blunt advice about the fact that his performance isn't emotional enough. And I mean, anyone who's been watching this show knows that Aqua usually isn't one for big emotion. And there are damn good reasons for that, it turns out, because Aqua has been dealing with and hiding incredibly massive PTSD. And it's clear he's been dealing with this for a long time. So it really explains, especially looking back at season 1, how and why he was so concerned about Akane when she was dealing with her stuff, as an example. Because he's not an outsider looking in. He has his own shit that he has been carrying, and he can probably relate very directly to what she was going through. Their issues weren't the same, but pain, while it comes in different flavors, when you've walked with and lived with that in some sense, it makes it much more likely that you're going to be able to empathize with that when it's happening to someone else. The thing I really noticed about this, and that really stood out to me as I watched, at least for the first part of it, is when Kana was telling him how to actually access his emotions. And she told him that for child actors, one of the things that they tell them to do is think about what would happen if your mom died. The minute she said that, I just started thinking, oh my god, because these people don't know. Kana didn't do that out of any sort of malice or cruelty or trying to rub salt in a wound. She had no idea. And I knew the moment that Aqua started thinking about that and considering that it was going to be a hot mess. But I thought we were going to either get raging or weeping. I didn't think that we were just going to get him literally breaking the fuck down. And the thing that's a real killer about all of this is that Kana has amazing feelings toward him and really cares about him and everything. Sure, she's prickly and tough on the outside and everything, but she genuinely likes him. And yet, because of the situation where Akane is basically pretending to be his girlfriend, and to be fair, I'm not saying that Akane is pretending in her feelings. We know she isn't, but that is what it is. And that grants her the ability to go and be with him has got to be a real punch in the gut for Kana. And that sucks. But for her part, I think Akane actually did an amazing job as well. And she did so in several different ways. I like the fact that she actually took action to try and help him that she was able to get him somewhere where he could be secure, that she recognized that he was dealing with shit, and that she kind of returns the favor in a way for the way that he helped her in the last season, which is amazing. But it goes so much deeper than that, because as she watches him lying there, and she acted as I in the first season trying to figure out how to like get him to like her and stuff, she actually, as far as I can tell, potentially pieces together what he's been through. And while she doesn't just come out and say it, I genuinely believe her when she says that she is there for him regardless of what is going on. That is a hell of a statement, and given what Aqua actually wants and what he's working toward, I wonder how true that'll end up being as things progress, because I don't necessarily think Akane knows what she's signing up for, but insofar as she could know, and as far as she could understand what's going on, I do, again, believe in her sincerity. I really like how they have shifted and wrapped up the story with the author and the scriptwriter, and how they've moved into doing stuff with the characters, and how the two plot lines actually connect, and I thought that it was incredibly well done. I really enjoyed this episode, despite the fact, as I said, that it was absolutely heart-wrenching. But I mean, in part, that is what we come to this show for. And this episode definitely delivered. You're definitely not going to walk out of this one feeling nothing. And if you do, holy crap, dude, look deep, because yikes. Anyway, those are my thoughts, but I'd love to know what you thought of this episode, so leave a comment below and let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. See you later. Bye!